Okay. So, Ken, it's so nice to have you join me for this conversation on your change. And as I was mentioning to you, this is really about learning from your experience when you've navigated some significant change so that others can learn along. And I'll learn, I know for sure. So, can you just start by just sharing whatever you want about yourself, like who you are,
Mhm.
your work, your humanness, and then we'll dive into the change.
Right. So, as I thought about this, I realized as a gay man who came of my evolution in the late 80s, meaning I was always a gay man, but actually came to terms with it in the late 80s, in the middle of the greatest trauma of the gay community, which was the AIDS crisis. Here I am stepping out of what appeared to be a heteronormal life, which is appeared to be and then I was in my late 20s, made the decision I had to be authentic to myself. And the pain of that and the frightening time period we were in felt so enormous at times that I almost felt like I couldn't cope to be myself. And I was in it alone.
Oh,
And Tina, as you know me well, I don't do a lot of things alone. I'm a person who connects to people, but I had to literally start over. My family never, they didn't, they didn't hurt me. I want to be clear, but they didn't help me. I needed a lot of help.
mm,
And then I built for the next many, many years, but the most immediate time period, the next 5 years, personal growth, deep diving on how I feel about myself as an individual, less even about my sexuality. And then as I grew a little bit around, oh, you're an adult who is now integrating his true sense of self, I I learned a lot about how I was going to guide my work life.
okay. I just want to pause here because, first of all, I can't even imagine how much courage that took to come out at that time. I think it would take courage regardless, but particularly that point in time in
Yeah.
history. And that you then dove in to do some work. Like, I'm curious, like, what helped you to move to this place of growth? And what did you need to grow in yourself?
Well, what I realized very early on is, oh, right, this is who I am as an adult who's separate from his family, who's separate from his friends. He's separate from everyone, and he's alone claiming what I thought was, my internal homophobia, what something that could be physically cause death, right, in the late 80s, and B, who's going to take care of me?
Yeah.
Who's going to take care of me? And I took care of me. And as a result, knock on wood, I knew to be safe. I knew what safety was. People my age wouldn't, I was on the cusp.
Okay, so how
So
sorry, I mean, this is
ask
phenomenal.
anything. Yeah.
How did you take care of you?
First, first physically, I called the community center and GMHC, the Gay Men Health Center, and asked them what I can and can do because I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were very conservative, right? So if anything, I got the real, like, at that point they had no hope for
Mm,
anything at that moment in the late 80s, and they were just coping with the stress. So but I learned scientifically what I can and cannot do. Okay. Second, I found a support group,
yeah.
and I sat in a circle in
Mm,
a support self-identify. First I didn't even find the right one
mm.
because I was 28 and everyone in that room was probably at that time young in their 50s, but in a
Young, hot
different
face.
world. Yes.
Mm,
But what I did was then find a community of peers, right? Third, I had a really good therapist who was very much working not on me as a gay man. She was very much like, Ken, you have to see yourself as an independent adult. And you were not brought up to be that. You're the youngest child. In my own way, I was the favored child. I was that. This is not about gay or straight. This is about you. And
Mm.
I worked with her for, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years.
Mm.
Okay. And yeah, so you put that together. And then I started taking risks socially.
Mm.
Okay, what do I mean by risk? You know me well. I got a share in a Fire Island house the second summer and got in there with a crazy bunch of 16 people, like rotating, typical Fire Island, all gay men in the pines, all prettyish. Do you know that 14 of them are still friends?
Wow.
Yes, because we were all struggling in our own way. Some maybe came out earlier, some were a little bit younger than me. Like we were all in it together.
Mm.
And we were all even fighting the trauma of the plague going on.
Mm.
And we were lucky enough, all of us, to be in good health and continued good health. But that bonding, I've gone to the weddings, I've gone to the divorces, I've gone to summer parents, all of that. Like literally, someone texting me a half hour ago, oh, I'm going to be in town Tuesday. I met him in 1992.
Wow. So there's really deep connection, not just in.
Building, yeah, building community with people that were all believing in that community is better than doing this alone and taking care of each other.
What a gift. What a
Gift.
to learn that young in your
Yeah.
life and to
Yeah.
experience it and that you've kept that up. I'm sure there's a lot that goes along into maintaining those relationships. I'm sure I know you says a lot about you and how you are in relationships.
Yeah.
So now tell me, if we're ready to go there, how does this connect to your work life change that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. So the way I'm telling you about coming out and my sexuality, it's interesting because when I came back to me, because listen, 30 years is a long time, 30, actually more, 35 years. Okay. It's a long time, but it came back to me in thinking about the work change because the isolation and the loneliness that I felt back then around that did not, and then building this community and building this identity did not translate to me, to my work identity, to really truly, and this is going to surprise you, and a lot comes from the work I did with you and the work that to 2 years ago. And that is what I'm absolutely fulfilled, ecstatic, and clear headed. And my identity from 35 years ago to my sexuality and I'm happily married and all this great stuff. My work identity, I'm laughing because I laugh. I was trying to think, like, when did you really feel this? When did you really feel this? And Tina knows you and all that. And Tina helped me get there. I remember you telling me, just do it, my friend, do it, brother, do it. And I did, but I didn't feel it, Tina.
So can you just share what the it is for people who are
Yeah, yeah. I am so skilled at what I do for my clients and the projects and or coaching and advising and leadership development that I can do any project well. And if I can't, I get people to do it with me.
Mhm.
And I not shockingly, I just completed my website. I'll send you the link. It's not, I didn't, but my reality of doing all of that in an integrated way as a person who helps facilitate people to grow and to be stronger. I literally wrote this down, right? This has removed any fears that success and imposter syndrome permeated my inside. This, right? And this is, right? It's been a 10-year process, but only in the last 2 years have I fully shifted my inner thinking, the brain, the way I wake up in the morning, and my work to be completely integrated. And that change has enabled me to be better practitioner. I hired someone, getting a new client with confidence. And then the other byproduct of this is I realize that, and I've told you this, I've realized that I am an audio learner and not a visual learner. Okay. And meaning, I don't know about you, I listen to 10 to 15 podcasts a week. I'm in the some are work related, some are just very news related. But what I'm saying to you is, I retain things on such a level that I realized, oh my God, all these books I have that I didn't read or tried to read, I can read, but I have to listen to it.
It's so powerful.
And
I want to pause you for 1 second because this
yeah,
is so rich, Ken. And I feel like you might be talking a bit in shorthand because we know each other. But
yeah,
I clarify for people listening, you shifted your whole consulting practice from
yes, yeah,
when I met 2018, you were
yes,
focused on helping companies generate revenue
yes, yes.
and
Sorry.
shifted into OD, L&D work, right? Helping I love, just like, it makes me so happy you say this, helping to facilitate others to grow.
Yeah,
That's now, that was the integration, is you seeing yourself as somebody who facilitates this growth, matches how you felt inside. It feels more integrated. Is that?
yes, yes. Very well said. And thank you for even clarifying, because we do know each other and all of that. So an example is even accounts I've worked with in a consulting capacity, I have now shifted solely to be, depending on the country, we call it mentoring. You and I, we can call it a lot, but I am an OD specialist, and I go into it with, I'm not your strategy guy. You want to run something by me? I'm smart. I can tell you, but that's not, you don't hire me for strategy. I don't want that.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm so celebrating you. And so you said it's taken 10 years. And I want you to tell us, you started to share a little bit,
Yeah.
helped you to make this shift, because it's a big one. What helped you?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I like to think in threes. So I'm going to give you threes. Okay.
Okay.
My brain goes that way. Firstly, I'm a very aware person. And to me, relevance is the most important thing that we all bring to our work. In particular, as one ages, we often try to be the smartest person in the room, and we try to make ourselves relevant to say, when we did this, when we did that. I realize my relevance is really located in my experience and my ability to stay relevant to whatever your needs are, right? Because developing you as a CEO, as a founder, or as a leadership team, my relevance is my 35 years of experience, my life experiences, my work experiences, but my relevance is to help you get there. And that is why it is a field that you can grow older and get better.
So it's not about having to offer the expertise of, like, for example, I build out strategy. It's saying, actually, what I have skill in is helping you to build out your own strategy.
Yes, yes,
Got it.
y-
Coaching.
yes. So that, as you remember, I was hybrid around that. And then I felt very comfortable, like, well, my calling card is strategy, but then I come in and I do the coaching, the mentoring, the leadership workshops, all of that. And now I lead. I I talk about the many clients I've had and what I've done with family negotiation, with partnership negotiation, with all that. Even my strategy projects, I realized even when I wasn't authorized officially to do it, I was mentoring. That is why many of these people are with me these years. And now I stay in that realm.
It's so cool. That's so cool. So of the three things, you like the threes. The number one is you redefined your relevance.
Yes,
Thank you for
right.
that.
Yeah.
What's number two?
My friend, you
Oh, come on. That's so kind of you.
being dead serious.
I'll take that in. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. We should do a podcast. Honestly, you blank, blank. People ask me, like, how'd you get into this? How'd you do this? And I talk about CFAR for a minute. Again, nothing, we don't have to go there. But then I said, I met someone here who really mentored me, taught me, and developed me, and believed in that my skills are strong enough. I used to be a little, well, I'm not you, Tina, right? And you would say, yeah, you are. And we had different ways. You, that's number two.
That's so sweet. I would say, no, you're not me. You're you. You're
I get it.
you. You're
Right. Yeah. And, but
yeah.
take it in. It's real,
Okay. One second.
really real. Third, I have seen a consistent trend. Like, and it's trends not even because that sounds faddish. I mean, consistently, what happens when founders, leaders, CEOs are ambivalent around their own skills and their own success? And I started to look back at the many different accounts I had strategically and now OD wise. And I see how that not only is bad for the person, how that really, really affects the organization from to fiduciary responsibility and marketplace fit, honestly. And it's kind of my forte. Like that's where I feel comfortable. And without it, it's really holding your, not just you back, but the people that work for you. And that you see something once, twice, three, multiples times, you believe in that problem. The problem exists. You validate that your hypothesis. You use data, as you always taught me, to make it real. And then I believe in my skills. And that synergy just happened.
This is so rock solid, brother. I love this. I love this because you've been talking. I just want you to know, I always thought you were so compelling because of your background, because you were the strategy guy, the revenue guy,
Yeah.
and that you would actually give me data because you were so in with startups and you would say, look, here's this consistent trend. You have to
Yeah.
understand this is
Yeah.
not nailed down. The lack of leadership skills impacts everything else. And you had real clear evidence of that. So I think it's so powerful that like I thought it was compelling. And now it sounds like you think it's compelling. You know it. You own it. It's like really in you.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels so easy right now. And look, being, as you know, being self-employed has its challenges. And sometimes the macroeconomic climate works for us, against it, doesn't matter. But what is so easy is y'all need it. And you know, and that doesn't make me, I wish I had mentoring when I was in line management. And I wish some of my bosses did. And and
And
I
can you, by the way, say where you worked in corporate? Perhaps just some little.
Yeah, I'll be the first. The one I was there 17 years is New York Times. And the New York Times, as I would always say, New York Times is for the world now is the, let's say, paper of record, at least on the progressive side, or at least bringing the truth onto some things. Always has been. My parents read it. all this good stuff, not on the business side. I couldn't even come out there. I
Mm.
was called, I'm just being real for everyone. And so what I say is, oh my God, the most important mentors to me during that had natural proclivity to be a mentor,
Yeah.
but there was nothing authorized, nothing sanctioned. And if you admitted you needed it, it was career stopping,
Mm.
not career growth.
Mm.
And I left there in 2005. So it's not like 100 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years ago.
I think there's something about the time that you're noting about how people's readiness to receive this kind of support, this kind of mentoring, coaching, whatever you call it, counseling,
Yeah.
and how it was viewed as a sign of weakness in the past more. And now there's so much more data, so much more research that it supports companies, leaders, like if they're going to take turns and take risks and help people be more agile in their work. And so I think you're naming something really important. So you name these three things, which I
Yeah.
think is important, that helped you.
Yes.
What were the things that you had to grow within yourself to be able to like navigate this? What you mentioned, you heard like imposter syndrome. So there's something
Yeah, I swear I was just going to answer that again. And it is such an overused term. And honestly, I smile when some of my clients come to me and I sit down for the first time and they fess up about imposter syndrome. And I smile inwardly because I'm like, I know, I get it. Like, what is that really saying? So, what did I really say? I had to change my internal messaging that I am not, it's not a question of not good, that I am not peers with people that are versed in the field or more educated in the field or are seemingly, it comes from a childhood thing. I was comparing myself at all moments. When I stopped comparing myself and started evaluating myself,
Mm.
and how I've done with clients and how much I've enjoyed it. The aha moment
Mm.
was in doing this exercise, once again, you did a great thing for me because I suddenly realized this is real and you can hear it, I feel it, and I mean it.
I feel it. And Ken, what you just mentioned about, I can so do that too. I can compare. I had somebody offer me this great expression. My therapist actually said, she said, stop comparing your beginnings in something to someone else's endings.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
it,
so interesting.
right. And so it's like giving yourself this, and it sounds like it goes back to the original therapist of being independent of, like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like it is funny because the original story I started with coming out, the people that have only focused in on that, these are friends for many years, but only on that, don't evolve because she was really smart in saying to me, that's not, we're here to work on you and integrate that in. Well, so if I'm working with a CEO, we're here to integrate all aspects
Mm.
of you. And it's funny how I talked to someone earlier today and he's going through a brutal divorce. And without saying it, I just said to him, because I could see it on his face, I'm like, you cannot compartmentalize this. You can't. You have to be okay with talking about it because I don't even mean with your teams. You're exploding and everyone feels it. And so let's 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 try to regulate yourself. But the reality is compartmentalizing is what we all did for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the integrated self
Mm.
is what I'm experiencing now.
Yes. And you're able to do that for others because you've lived it. You've done,
Yes.
and you're able to hold others with what they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You can,
contain them, right? In a very healthy way. Like, because as a CEO, you have to contain your company,
yeah,
right? Right. Right. And so,
so true.
how, but if you're feeling completely, listen, whatever, I'm just realizing that I'm a resource for people while they're in it and they have to run a company because I feel at peace with my own integration.
And it creates peace. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
CEOs need some peace because where do they have that? So this has been such a powerful learning for me just to listen to you, to kind of go through this experience with you. And what I'm curious about is, so knowing that we're always going to have change ahead of
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
how would you advise yourself? What advice would you give yourself, right? Your future self going
yeah,
next turn? What would you say?
yeah. I so appreciate that question. I'm going to share another personal thing.
Yeah.
My mom, right, loved her to death, would say to me, if only change didn't happen, because it made her so anxious. And as a kid, it's something I heard. Okay. Okay. Now, why? Listen, now we're in 2026. What I would tell my younger self is embrace the change, but also know you're not going to be left out. You're not going to be left alone. You're not here you won't be by yourself. I used to equate change meaning abandonment, and many
Mhm.
people do. And
Yes.
I'll bring it up to something that happened last week. I had a CRO, and I always knew that change, she gets dysregulated and really, and something really simple. This is real business stuff, right? They migrated the CRM from an in-house to a Salesforce CRM with lots of changes. In our session, she cried and screamed like, and it was real, obviously. And I finally said to her, I can tell this change is what you're crying about
Mhm.
because it's not the CRM,
Mhm.
right? The CRM, trust me, yeah, it's going to be clunky at the beginning. We're going to get you there. But I understand what change can do to some people. So I only wish, Tina, I realized change is your friend and going with it, it's learning. And I know this is cliched, but honestly, it was paralyzing for me.
Yeah.
And now, yeah.
And would I can so appreciate that. And if you could go and saying that to your younger self, I'm curious, would the advice be any different to Ken 5 years from now?
Yeah, the advice is going to be in 5 years from now, look what you've done. Keep it going. Like, keep it going, whatever. Just that's why I don't get scared by AI. Like, people are like freaked out about this and that. What I'm saying is, like, figure it out. You figured it out, as to use your term, brother, for 40 years straight. You figured it out. It's come with pain. It's come with some really doubtful moments. And I'm not even regretting that it took me this long to get in this field. It's okay. I do wish, but I'm lucky.
Yes.
I'm lucky because I had dinner with a friend last night who was saying to me, how did you do it? How did you find this?
Mm.
How'd you find this in your mid 60s?
You found yourself.
Yeah.
You found yourself and you gave yourself permission to go after that integration. It's so powerful.
Yeah. And so and when he said it, I at first didn't want to take it in, but I was like, thank you. I did. Because he's not in good place at the moment, so I didn't want to be that. But I was walking home thinking, shit, and I knew we almost you and I are spiritual. I think it's interesting that today I got to talk about it.
Yeah. I think I think it's so how special and to have that moment, living that, to be able to look back and be like, yeah, I did do that.
Yeah,
So kind of bringing this to a close, Ken, and this has been phenomenal. Just talking about this, I'm curious, how has this been for you? Like, what are you taking away today for yourself from just having time to reflect and think about this, if anything?
yeah. Well, first of all, I really like you. That's what I realized today, and I mean that. I mean that as a friend, and I know we go apart, whatever. But I just want to tell you that. Why? Because sitting here talking to you. I'm talking to a good friend.
Oh,
Okay.
I feel the same way. Thank you.
Yeah. Second. I take away that exercises like this are important to remind you. The work is lonely. That's the one thing I will say. The work can be really lonely. And I didn't know that part. Actually, that's the part that I thought, because the better you get and the more boundaries you put up, that I give you credit, it's a bit lonely. And this today did not make me feel lonely. It made me feel really in good place.
Ah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good experience.
Can I just tell you, my power's been out and it just came on.
Wow.
So as a co-spiritual person, like something about this. So Ken, I am so deeply appreciative of you,
Yeah.
your change, your deep change that you've
Yeah.
weaving in the personal with the professional. It's so powerful. So thank you so
Oh,
much.